Well, hi everybody, and welcome back to Exehaven Harbour. I believe this is episode 109. You'll have hopefully just recently watched 108, and which was the building of the bus stops, bridges and crane, and the announcement that we have got another overall roof, which I haven't started making yet, because I'm filming this is going to sound complicated, on the day after I've uploaded the video, but the video isn't going to be out until the Friday, and today is Monday. So if you understand that, you're a better man than me. Anyway, come out for a little bit of evening work this evening. There's not much on the television that interests me at the moment. I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here is not on my list of things that I really enjoy, and that is being watched by the family. So I decided, in my infinite wisdom, to come out here. Now, there's a few things that I'm planning to do next, one of which is to get the tracks running excuse me, into the station, but I'm going to be out here for an hour or so, so that's a little bit more involved, and I'll probably get involved in that on Wednesday. Tomorrow's my golf day, Tuesday, so I'll do that then, or I'll have a look at it especially then. But what I'm going to do now is this junction here. This is the junction that will run underneath, come out the other side there. I'm hoping to get the track dockside, and they will also run right round here up to the warehouse. Now, the warehouse won't necessarily be right in that spot, but there will be tracks along the front here to service that warehouse. That is the main warehouse for Exehaven Harbour. It's something I built, scratch built, some time ago, and it's been waiting patiently in the background for me to get it in place. But the other thing as well that I'm going to have to do is put a small extension onto here, because I haven't quite got enough room. I'm only going to put probably maybe 10-15 centimetres on there, 6 inches. Maybe not even that much, but I want to do that. I think it was kind of in my plans anyway when this started taking the form that it is. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get on with it now. I'm going to, just for now, just put it in place as such, and then I'll take it from there. So I'll be back in the next segment. Sorry about my little cough in there. I swallowed the wrong way so I started talking, but I'll be back to you shortly. Well, I've kind of worked it, and the track will work, but there are a couple of little things that I'm not quite sure about. I think it's quite easy to work it out, but there is meant to be along here somewhere like a bridge, a road bridge that goes underneath and would, you know, theoretically come out on the other side there, because when I build the backup I want to give the appearance that that's going through. So I think the road will have to come out somewhere like here, and there'll be some sort of level crossing, which is fine actually. Now I've thought that through, I'm sure that'll work, and all I'll do is cut out a hole here, give it the appearance that the road's going underneath, and you know, that's really, in some respects, job's a good one. So that is quite a tight curve to the edge. What I can do is just cut this down a little bit to give me that little extra bit of distance, which will bring that in a couple of 3 or 4 centimetres. So I think I've worked that out. This track here will curve round a little more and then work its way along. Don't forget I'm extending this out here now, and that'll work its way along here towards the end. Whether I'll have room for a little run round loop, I might have, but we'll see how that goes. So I think that's going to work okay. Then the crane obviously will sit over on the extended bit, so we might be able to have a little loop around there, so we've got an engine can bring some goods in and whatever. Or do I have that track? Or do I just have that coming straight out of there? Because this, you know, this is in my vision where terminal 1 and terminal 2 will go. So I'm going to run some trains, I think, and mull it over. I've got a little evening bottle of Stella Artois, and I'm just making a little evening of it out here. And yeah, I'll mull that over and run some trains round. Right, so we've got the warship back on duty tonight, and she is running a service from Fishguard to Exehaven Harbour. There she goes, and passing her now is the reverse Blue Pullman, and she's running a service from Birmingham down to Exehaven Harbour. Haven't had the Blue Pullman out for a few weeks. Always enjoy watching her run round. Yeah, it's funny, that point, odd how it does it there. Been running around for fine for quite a while. We've done it when I first started running them, we stopped doing it, now it's doing it again. Not quite sure what that's all about. So, good morning to a very miserable Essex where I live today. It's cold, wet, it's absolutely pouring down, or it was when I walked into the cabin 10 minutes ago. Well, actually, it's been over half an hour since I've been in here. But as you may hear in the background, I've got a couple of trains running round as per the running session. We've got the blue Pullman, reverse blue Pullman, and the warship going round. Part of the reason for that, at the end of the running session, and it might be slightly out of order the way that I edit this episode, but this section here, these 2 points, the warship keeps stopping on them, so I've given them a damn good clean, and here it comes, and it seems to have worked. I'm sure you'll be pleased, Ian. But I used my let's see if I can get that just there. That's my soft, one of the new soft Gauge Master track rubbers to clean them up, and it's the second time round that you saw there, so I'm hoping that's kind of sorted that little issue out. And I had, when I looked closely at the track, there were a couple of marks, dark marks on there which have come off, so hopefully that's that sorted out for now. We'll come back to that in a minute. And apart from that, I've done nothing this morning because I'm not 100% happy with the way that curves around there. It might be something we have to live with. This is into the docks, which will be running along here, but there may be another alternative, but the alternative is me using my tightest track setter curve, and seeing if we can work something out with that. Remember that there's going to be a piece inserted in here, which I've found a piece that I had been using as a shelf. It's not quite the right length and it's a little bit too wide, but if I cut this down and stick that in there, if I cut that, I'm going to cut that down the middle, I think, and then that'll give me enough just to add on at the end there. Sorry, it's difficult to do while you're holding the phone. So that'll be okay. This should look okay with another piece going along the front there, but I just think I might be able to do that a little bit better. Now, well, let's just watch the warship go over them points again. It started again, so we'll leave that to run for a while. So some of you may be wondering why I haven't got into the station, because that's where I'm really concentrating on. But I'd like to try and get a track down the front here. So even if it's just for a visual effect with a train shunting round there, we'll see. But while I'm at it, I'm going to have a little go and see. But I won't put too much effort into this. But this will be the last the last go at it really for now, because I do really want to get on with the old station over here. So I'll come back to you shortly and we'll see how we go. Right, so haven't got much done here. I'll swap the engine over to my Class 50, as you can see. She's chugging round nicely. She's been going round for about 20 minutes or so now. But prior to that, we were having this problem with these points here. Now, I changed it over to Class 50 just to see if it was the engine, because it just kept doing it again with the warship in the end. And so these points here. So anyway, sort of like I said, I swapped it over for the Class 50, same thing. So I thought, right, okay, so what I've done in the meantime is actually push the points closer together where they join, and I'm hoping as the Class 50 comes around now, it's not going to do the usual trick of just once I've fixed it and then you show it on video, it stops. And there we go. Now, like I say, it's been running around for about 20 minutes now without any issues over them points. I've got to say, I had to go and get a cup of tea in the end, because I was getting very, very frustrated, because of uncoupling issues with the Class 50 and the rest of the coaches. It just it was driving me crackers. But it's sorted now. Nice little bit of tacky wax in there, and that's all sorted. That the reverse blue Pullman has just run round faultlessly, and so I'm going to turn my attention again now to this section here. So I'll come back in a bit. Well, I've realised quite now how long this video is going, and I think it's on around about the half an hour mark again. I've come back out this afternoon to get a bit more time in and perhaps get these last couple of tracks in, but I'm not going to film that for this episode. Well, it'll be filmed, but it'll form the part of the start of the next episode, really. So that's where I left it as I went in for lunch. I've just put those 2 points in there. These two will just lead into these 2 platforms here, and I'm just settling that track in there. And for now I've just got, as we had previously, Class 50 and the reverse blue Pullman just running round, and just like to say thanks very much. The support for this last video has been strong again, which is great. It's good to see. Thank you for joining me. Thanks to all the new subscribers that have come on as well. I hope you like what you see, and yeah, we'll see you in the next episode, which will be, I guess, the one before Christmas. The Christmas episode won't be anything really special apart from me carrying on where I left off, but yeah, it soon comes round, and I've got so much footage now that you know, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, really. But I quite like doing that. It's quite nice to have a little bit of backup in the bank, and I'm not rushing to a deadline as I quite often do. There's an overall view that a lot of you like. One day that will be filled all with scenery. But I'm looking forward to doing it all. I can't wait. I've been watching some other bits and pieces just recently. Boomer dioramas. Some of his landscaping is fantastic, and if I can get it half as good as his, I'll still have a fantastic looking layout, I'm sure. Okay everybody, so I'm going to leave you with the trains running for a minute or two. Like I say, thanks very much, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers. Right, this is kind of what I've come up with, which is not dissimilar to what I had before. It's good enough, to be fair. It's worked out quite well. I think what I'm going to do is, when I put the extra bit on the edge here, and there'll be another piece on the edge there. I'm going to add a little piece of straight track in there which will bring it out a bit further, and then we can have that running along here. So I think at the end of the day I've used some of my 4th radius set track. We'll bed that all in, that'll look fine. These end bits on the set track are like a little bit what I would call clumpy, and I'll take them off, which I've done with a couple of them actually, but not these ones. So I'm quite happy with that arrangement. Now previously I was talking about a bridge that goes, or a tunnel kind of bridge that goes under the station with a road. That can still go in there. I'm going to have to build the terminal buildings first to determine. So the terminal building will go in here, and obviously this will be out a bit further. You know, the terminal building will be quite a long building, so the road may not go in there. It may do, it depends, but I would imagine the terminal building will stick out a fair bit. I haven't got any sizes and stuff for that, you know, that's a little bit way ahead, and I'm getting ahead of myself here. But the road could go under here. There could be like a level crossing there, because this won't be like a really busy area. So, you know, not that it makes any difference, but a road crossing there will come across and will service all of the either industries that are down here and the warehouse, which is there at the moment, but that will probably come forward a bit, and there'll be other sort of like industrial type areas at the back there, and we'll see how we work that out as time comes along. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. I mean, this morning's been, I think I mentioned it in my last video, I keep getting down rabbit holes. And, you know, one of the rabbit holes were these set of points this morning. Then I had all the issues with the decoupling with the class 50. You know, the only good thing this morning has been the reverse blue Pullman. But yeah, you have them kind of days. I've had them before, sort of like frustrating little spells. I haven't got much more time out here today, sadly, and I can't do any more. But you know, it's in a lot of ways it's a lovely way to spend a wet, cold day just fiddling about doing stuff with your model railway. You know, I'm going to have to make a start on the other canopy as well, which I might start doing that this evening. So we'll see how we go. And yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I'm just going to end this little segment with letting you watch the trains run round. That's a class 50. But it's nice to have the trains running as well. I quite enjoy that while I'm modelling, but I want them to be hassle-free. And it hasn't really been hassle-free this morning, but it appears to be now. So let's give you a nice shot of the blue Pullman as she comes round. There she goes, smooth as silk. Class 50, entering what would be, or will be, Exehaven Central. Little way off yet. But there we go. Okay, so I'll come back to obviously what will be seconds, but it may very well be quite a few hours later, or even a couple of days later. Good morning and welcome back to the cabin and Exehaven Harbour. And what we're going to do this morning is make a start on running the track into the platforms of the harbour station. What I want to do is get the platforms in position into their right places, and we'll kind of take it from there really. There is a very slight drop down this end. It's more pronounced on that side, but it shouldn't be too bad, and some of it is the wood itself. There is a slight bow in it, but once that's screwed down, that shouldn't be a problem. You know, we'll cross bridges as we get to them. Nothing is ever really a problem. Well, it is a problem, but it's not a problem, if you know what I mean. We'll work something out. Obviously the platforms have got to have the ramp ends put in, but that will be done as we go along, and obviously the platforms need dressing up as well as platforms. So plenty of stuff to do, and I'll come back to you at various points as I get along with it. Okay, so I'll see you in the next bit. Right, here we are. So the first track has been laid. What we've done, we've screwed the platform down. The slight dip hasn't made any difference really. It's gone down there nicely, as has the track. So that's all fixed in right up to here. Now obviously I'll be taking this out again to do the modifications that I need to do. The track has been just screwed down temporarily, just using those flange screws that I've got. Very small 7mm long flange screw. I've got some smaller ones actually, but they don't always bite. And this is my tester for the edge. Now bearing in mind the top will be covered, and it's probably, the card is about, well, it's 2mm that it says, but in reality it's probably 1.5. And I will have a slight overhang excuse me, on each side. It'll probably be about 1mm there or thereabouts. So the way that I'm seeing that, there's plenty of room, and I've got my schools class there, which has the widest sort of buffer beam, not buffer beam, I can't remember what they're called now, but this cylinder place here for these to go in. There's plenty of room, which is what I'm trying to say. I haven't got an 08 shunter, so I can't test that, but that's where I've got to. My next track before lunch will be this one coming off of this point here and running into the shorter bay platform here, because this is where the big lift is going to be for all the parcels and luggage that will come down underneath and come out here, where I'll build a sort of loading bay type thing. And I've got those lovely Architect figures and the cart for that. So that'll look good, hopefully, one day. But we are getting there. This is quite a nice bit of a change actually, because a while back I got fed up with laying track. But of course, just recently, all I've been building is models. And as much as I really do enjoy doing that, and I'm not really fed up with it, but it just makes a nice change just to do something a bit different. And I was watching somebody the other day, I think it's Trains of Thought, I'm not sure the guy's name's Ian, I do watch it, and he's got a big layout in his basement in the States. He's got a British layout in his basement, and he was saying it can be quite daunting, and you know, if you just change from one thing to another every now and again, it sort of keeps you interested. I think it was him anyway. Can't remember now. Could be. And it might be a bit of him and a bit somebody else. But anyway, there we are. And I'll get on with laying this next bit, and then I'll come back to you then. That may be all I've got a chance to do today. So we'll see how we go. Right, we've got a lot more done than I thought I was going to do this morning. So we've got the shorter bay platform. We've got the platform that I originally put in first of all this morning. We've got the third platform, the track in there, and the third platform, or the next platform along, whatever you want to call it, is secured down with some screws, and all is good. It looks quite good, all secured down with my flange screws. Just for now, what I'm doing is just basically setting it out. All the track will need the droppers and all of that kind of stuff. And I don't know whether any of you watched Tony Northeastern put out a video this week about trains crashing in the buffers, because I'd mentioned it previously. And thank you, Tony, very helpful. What I plan to do, and I've made a mark, I don't know whether you can see that, there's a mark there which is the mark of my longest engine and a little bit more. I will cut that track there, and we will probably make a little isolating thing, so as the train comes in I'll have that piece of track switched off, and it should stop just before the buffers. Hopefully it won't be driving in there at 100 miles an hour. If it does, it's only because I've taken my eye off of things. But yeah, and a good timely video that, Tony, and I think that sort of, you got the idea from seeing, or just my off the cuff comment really. But thank you very much, Tony, that's brilliant. So yeah, that's where we're at. There's only 2 more tracks going in here now, for this platform and this platform. There's a gap there because I want to put a back scene in, and that will give me the room to do that, and we'll build a wall along the back of that platform and we'll do that. Like I say, all the platforms need to be dressed yet to be made look like platforms, and I think that's quite a good morning's work. I can really start visualising it all now. The main station building obviously sits in here, so that's all been measured out, and there'll be a piece to go on the end here. I've got another length of that wood that I had cut. That will go in there, which will then leave me a little bit of room to do something at the back there, because I do visualise that as a headland just running out into the sea, and the harbour sort of kind of comes in here. So that'll just give that some relief, I hope. I'll have some room to do something there. All right, so that's where we're leaving that. I'm off to have a salmon sandwich for my lunch because I'm feeling a bit posh, and speak to you soon.